welcome back to Tokusatsu Girlfriend. We are back again.
Oh, yeah.
I am your Tokusatsu girlfriend, and I'm joined by my always handsome, dashing, charming, better than your favorite, Squall Charlson.
Wow, that's really good.
I've been working.
Have you?
Yeah.
That was really good. Hey, everybody. Sorry I'm a little out of breath. We just came from watching the episodes, and I was doing the dance.
He was. I watched from the couch.
Yeah, it's a very, I don't know if you've tried to do the dance. It takes it out of you.
I was very comfortable.
We got to get you to learn it and do it with us.
I will.
Or with me, I shouldn't say us. It's not like Ralphie and I do it.
No, he was joining me on the couch. We were both watching you.
That's why I kind of like Sentai. You know, like they give you those ending dances because they're like, all right, you little bastards, get up after every 30 minutes and wiggle around, you know?
That's smart. That is really smart. And
It
I
is.
really think that more shows, countries, whatever, should adopt that. That's really smart.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, Barney kind of had like a little bit of dance moves, but there's no other kid show over here that does that. All right, welcome back. This is episode 16 of Tokusatsu Girlfriend, where we are covering Mashin Sentai Kiramager, and we are looking at, on this episode, episodes 32, 33, 34, and 35 of Kiramager. We are almost done with this show, meaning we're going to have another live extravaganza to figure out what we're going to watch next, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Laura, tell us, let's recap what happened in episode 32.
Well, I want to start out by saying it's hard for me to differentiate when it's a two-parter episode because it really just blends and becomes one episode.
Well, then what happened in 32 and 33?
I'll try and keep them as separate as possible. But we start out by seeing Sayo on a date. Ooh. And the rest of the team is back at back at
Harrison Ford's place.
Just chilling after they freed him.
Yeah, because from the Carbonite.
Yeah. Were they like watching the date on a feed? Because they were all grouped in the middle, like.
I don't remember.
And they were talking about it, and Tame seemed to have the most information. It seems that Sayo, that's her gossip girl. They like talk about stuff because he was like, oh, well, she said she might accept the love offer.
Whatever that means.
I was very confused. Maybe I just don't. Something lost in translation.
Nicole Kidman's new movie, Offer of Love.
I wasn't exactly sure what they were, because at times I was like, oh my God, are they saying that the guy she's on a date with might actually ask her to marry him? They kept saying he's going to confess, and I was like, confess his love. Sometimes they were like, he's going to ask her, and I'm like, ask her what? Like, ask to be his girlfriend, ask to be his wife. Like, I was very confused.
To be a Kiramager.
I don't know. I was like, what is happening? Because they said that they had only been out a couple of times. He's a very successful doctor. Something about like he was the first scientist to do have flora on Mars.
To grow it on Mars.
Yeah, so he's very successful, and that's like they're like a power couple, a very new, but still very powerful couple. And everyone is like, "Oh my God, is she going to say yes?" The question I was asking is, say yes to what? I'm
the dress.
Still. Well, potentially that's the thing.
That's out of this viewership's knowledge range.
I know, but we could get into it.
No.
But yeah, so that's the main thing that we take away from this at the beginning is that she is seeing someone, which
good for her.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful.
Except for Shiguru, who
I don't know if that's just in our heads or what, but I
like
definitely that they should be together. I don't know. Were you paying attention to? I was trying to read the subtitles as quickly as I could and then like dart back to see.
Oh yeah, he was visibly upset.
Yeah, especially when she phones into them and like Takamichi's like, like that point where they're like squishing him together.
Well, everybody else is super supportive and they're just like, you can call us on this, and he's just like ugh.
And especially that scene where she calls in and they're all grouped together around Juru or Tame, whichever one she called into their changer, and he gets like squished against someone. He's just like, no, it's Sayo. Sayo comes back. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Okay. Sayo comes back and the guy calls her to meet up because he runs off on the original date. And
something
leaves
going
her
wrong
hanging.
with this project.
Yeah, his project. Leaves her hanging.
They immediately cut to like Crunchula and Yodana talking about their project, and I'm like, is she on a date with Garza? I think I mentioned that last time.
You did. Well, and also you mentioned it while we were watching it.
Yeah, because I was like, this screams like it. Like it's gonna like reveal that he's under Garza's control, or he's just Garza in disguise, which is like, I already knew Garza had a thing for Sayo, but this now cements it. But that wasn't the case.
I don't know who you're talking about when you say Garza.
Sorry, I'm trying to get better with the names so that we're not,
Right.
But yeah, we find out that this guy's big thing that he's going to reveal to her in this basement of his warehouse not warehouse, but like.
How weird was that, by the way, that he's like, come down here just a little bit further?
Because they knew it would cut off her signal, so she couldn't tell anyone. Or maybe that's just coincidental. The Jotunheim seem to be really stupid and everything kind of just works out for them until Shiguru shows up and then they're like, fuck, this guy again.
Here.
Damn it. But like, I feel like that's what was going on with that. But we find out that he's growing a seed.
A seed, a Yodon Ivy, which I love that word ivy. It's so pretty. So I really like that it's called Yodon Ivy for what it's worth.
And meanwhile, Garza, who is not this guy, unfortunately. This guy did look familiar the whole time. And maybe he just looks like the guy who plays Thouser.
Oh,
that's kind of what I was.
Does. I think the similar hairstyle.
I think that's what was giving me, a little bit of the. No, that's not him because he. No.
Well, you really had me sold on the theory that it was Uncle Ring Pop in disguise, and then when it turned out not to be, I was just kind of like, oh, okay. Well, I guess this is good because that means there's a chance that he and Sayo could actually work out. But I don't want
we never see him again.
No, as far as we know,
we never see him again. But yeah, so Garza, Uncle Ring Pop, travels to the Mystic Island where Embark is.
I know.
And evils him,
that happened so quickly, and I really was paying attention, but
too.
I couldn't tell you what really happened there, to be honest.
It might be another lost in translation. It might just be like look this way real quick, kids. I think what he did is he just took over Embark so that he could sit inside of his cockpit and fly over to fuck with the king. And
that sounds so I think you're right. Let me say, I'm pretty sure that is exactly
that is what happens.
Say it out loud like that, it just sounds so ridiculous.
But you have to really kind of sit there and like reevaluate what you just witnessed in order to come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
And while he's there, he's putting the Bosch on the king, which allows the king not able to come to them, which Shiguru then fixes in the next episode. But this one ends with like three
kaiju
giant monster guys.
Yeah, and they look pretty fearsome, to be honest with you.
I like the sword dude. That guy was cool. The tank one I didn't care for.
Yeah, the tank one I could, take a lead.
Shield one was okay, but that sword guy
was nothing to fuck with. He meant business. And it seems when this episode ends that our heroes, their backs are against the wall. Oh, we didn't really explain what the fucking ivy does.
The show really doesn't explain it. It grows, it buds, and then it takes over the world. It destroys the world, but it doesn't. It makes it like Jotunheim.
Yeah.
Which every time they've shown flashes of Jotunheim, I don't see any flora anywhere. So it's like, but I'll take their word for it, you know? And it basically is just going to ravage the city. They don't talk about the world, really. They just talk about it's going to destroy the city.
Earth.
Well, they say that eventually, but it's like, it's going to take over the city and then the world. I don't know.
Very quickly, I might add. And it's always, it's going to happen quick.
Really quickly.
Basically, Yodana.
Footnote on that for later.
Oh, if you want to, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
It's for the next episode.
Oh, okay.
With Shiguru and the king flying to the sun while they only have 5 minutes to get a power to slice.
Put a footnote or put a pin in that.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically we find out that this guy isn't as shitty as we think he is. He did it because he said he wanted to protect Sayo because he believed Yodana when she said, I won't hurt you guys, just help me out and,
right.
That'll be the end of it. And so that's why he decided to help her destroy the earth. And then she's like, are you fucking stupid? Of course I'm gonna kill you.
But me and Sayo are supposed to repopulate the earth.
That was, you promised.
This was our plan. This was on my dream board.
I manifested this. Yeah, so Sayo is like, you are kind of stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did think about maybe giving up being a Kiramager if I married you, which maybe that's the answer. Does that answer the question? Was he going?
Hey,
I still don't know what he was
good
gonna
dick will
ask
make you
her.
do crazy things.
Clearly. She's like, I thought about giving up being a Kiramager, but now she gives a long speech about it.
Mhm.
And then she morphs for like a second. And then she unmorphs, gives him her her changer, and is like, you need to run and call my teammates.
Mhm.
I'm going to hold him off here. And it drove me nuts that he did not move faster, because she's unmorphed, trying to hold off all these Muddites with these scary rakes. And he is just not moving with any sort of speed. He even turns around and gives a monologue of his own. I'm so sorry, Sayo. Oh, I can't believe I did this. I'm so sorry.
It's hard to run with a boner, because he thought all this was coming to fruition and he was about, ready to start repopulating.
You can't put this in the episode.
Not too bad. All right, sorry, continue.
And so, I don't know, that annoyed me that he just stood there giving like an apology monologue while he's looking back at her, and she's like, trying to hold them off. And he's like, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Ooh.
And then he runs off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, put some lead in it, dude. Get out there. Get her teammates. We didn't even talk about the marks this episode, I guess, because they don't really matter.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Yeah, the riddle marks.
The riddle marks.
He tells you a riddle, and if you don't get it, you get spanked.
Yeah, well, they come in, the Muddites come in and like take out kneecaps. That's like.
Yeah, but they're just spanking them on the butt, though.
Yeah, well, it looked like they were going for the knees.
I think it's like a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
You get your ass slapped by a monster and you gotta falling over.
But they take care of the problem
pretty easily. They have a whiteboard full of all the information of what a deck of cards and a clearanced item at a store could have in common. And Saya, when she comes back, she's like, "Oh yeah, I get it." And then Tommy gets it too.
Doesn't tell them. Yeah, but Tommy got it.
I know. Why wouldn't she tell them? This is bullshit. They all have these fucking little Riddler question marks on their chests. She doesn't even ask. She's in her own world. I tell you, dick will make you do crazy things.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that's pretty much all in this episode. And then moving into episode 33, I think this is one of the most, if not the most, cinematic episode that I've ever seen of Sentai.
Well, I haven't seen much of Sentai, but Squall, darling, I gotta agree with you. This was phenomenal. Oh my God.
Like, there's so many things that they did where they didn't reuse a lot of footage, or they reused some footage that we only saw like a little portion of, like when Sayo transforms. We get to see it all in full screen, which, let me tell you, that did not look
that was probably not so cinematic, but
no, but like we never got to see that, like the full screen version of all of that. But like, obviously people have talked about the multi-layer fight where you have, Tomitomo and Juru fighting the Muddites down below versus all of the robots in the background fighting, which is something that they've done, like all the way like back to like Go Busters from 2011, 2012. Like Go Busters did that. Like they did it, like it's in the first episode, and I was like, this is the coolest shit ever. And Sentai like hadn't ever really done that I've seen until now, and I'm just like, what took them so long to like that? That's such a cool thing to do. And like they kept moving it around. They kept having things like interact with that, which I loved it.
I wasn't expecting that when you first were like
explained it,
I just pictured like battle in the background between like the robots, and then in the foreground just a battle between like whoever was not in the robot. But the way that the camera like panned around, and we had like, I audibly gasped when the sword got thrown and like stuck in the ground by them. Like the fact that, like you said, the environment was interacting with them, and we were just getting this full 360 fight. Everything was happening. That was so cool. Honestly, this one, not Tokusatsu aside, like just anything, that's one of the coolest battles I've ever seen.
Right.
I'm just gonna say it. It's so cool.
I like it because, like, you go back to like Go Busters, and like they had, like I said, like stuff like that because they were having to fight the foot monster versus the giant monster at the same time. Like they were two separate entities. They weren't the same thing, which I really like that they, kind of compiled that together, because then you could squash a lot more of your fight into just all happening at once.
Right.
And then you get more story, or you get more fight, and it's actually good. But there's like so many different scenes and shots in this that like I can't think of any like other specifics, but like just things that they could have reused footage for they just filmed. Like, I know I made the joke where King O's robot is just like hovering in midair while all of them are exploding, and he's just like dangling there like he's on like an unseen wire, like SpongeBob at the end of the movie where he's like dressed as a wizard and he's just hanging out there. Like, that's what it reminded me of. But like, there was, I don't know, this episode was kind of boring, but all of those cinematic moments were great. Like, this is a boring two-parter. Like, I'm going to be honest, it was a boring two-parter. They didn't really explain a whole lot of things because Sayo, she's taken by Yodana when Juru and Tomitomo break their way through. Like, they shot through the ground, which is kind of cool. That was
so cool.
I was hoping to see like a Muddite body come falling down with them.
Well, I just like that this was like, the plot was almost like a hostage situation.
Yeah.
Like, where they had to split up into teams, you know, and they're like, okay, we've got the reconnaissance team. We've got,
it's almost like a person heist.
Yeah, exactly. I liked that. I like that plot point.
But then you have like random things where like he'll shoot the arrow out and they're like, he can become one with the arrow.
Oh yeah, that
didn't make
really
sense.
Care about that I don't care about.
I like my explanation made sense because you were like, what happened? I was like, oh, he sent a signal where they are so that they can literally just grab into the ground and grab. That would have made more sense than I teleported the king and his entire robot by shooting the arrow.
Get in this arrow.
That makes get in the arrow. Juru, get in the arrow.
Get in the arrow.
But like, I don't know. It just didn't really make a whole lot of sense, and I don't know. Was this the episode where they did like Juru on like drugs, where like his head like they like zoomed into his head and he realized he's connected with the king, or was that a last episode?
It was. I mean, it was definitely in this two-parter, but I can't remember. I can't remember which one, but yeah, I was like, oh, hold on, gotta connect with the king first.
Well, basically, they end up breaking the king out. They get around Garza, Uncle Ring Pop, and the three giant monsters that they've been fighting do like a line attack. They do like a conga attack. Dun 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 dun. Hey, dun 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 dun.
They attack
dun 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 dun. Shing.
Once again.
Yeah, they're like, we have to dodge, and they don't.
I was like, again, guys, for real. Oh, that killed me.
They suck at this, but Tomitomo figures out that it's like rock paper scissors, and we need to, defend each one of these, and they, obviously destroy the thing. Yeah. Which they're like, we have 5 minutes to do it, and Juru, who's in with King Oridon, they fly up into space to the fucking sun.
Yes.
Which is like millions of miles away, to charge up a power to shoot it to the thing to explode them all.
Yodon Ivy.
Yeah, and it's like, there's no way he would have flown that fast.
Oh, but it was beautiful, wasn't it? It was powerful. It was a powerful thing to do.
Again, it was very visually attractive.
It was.
I enjoyed watching it. But my other brain, the logical side was just going, what? The whole time. Oh my God. Like the whole time for this two-parter, but it wasn't, I don't know. It wasn't the best two-parter, but I do really love all the visual elements.
Yes, I do too. Oh my gosh. I love it so much. And you were the one who pointed this out, that like the ending seemed like the finale, the way it was almost giving like
that shot just like of all them slowly walking and like the narration of each one of them and how well they did in this battle.
Sayo went on to become the greatest doctor of all time.
Yeah, it does like the little freeze frames with like the text coming up. Don't you forget about me.
I was just like, it took me a second to realize that he was only narrating what happened in the fight.
Yeah.
Because it was really giving like, this is the end
final
vibes.
Episode
vibes.
vibes.
Yeah, and you pointed that out and I'm like, yeah, it really...
Well, just that shot of all 6 of them walking slowly down the steps and they're all like battle damaged. Yeah. Like, had Sayo been in her actual outfit too, it would have definitely fit that, where they're all in their outfits. But yeah, I was just looking at that. I was like, this really does feel like a final episode. Just the sheer amount of things that they did that they didn't have to, they could have cut corners on.
Yeah.
And at Sentai, they usually do, but they didn't, which is like, this, I don't know, this episode just felt really different than some random, middle of the season 2-parter.
Right.
Like, yeah, there's going to be some cool stuff. I thought they were going to put all the robots together finally, but that didn't happen. But like all the other stuff they did was brand newly shot for the most part. And it was like, you know, they actually did new stuff, you know, like they had like the shot of like Drill Dicer like jumping in the air to like attack the one thing.
Right.
And it's like a camera from his shoulder angle and he's like punching the dude as he's falling down on him. And I'm like, they didn't have to show us that. They could have, you know, done all that CG, but it was the real suit stuff doing that. And I was like, wow.
It was cool.
But then I was like, oh, we're on the sun now. What the hell is this?
We're on the sun now. Oh, man. I don't know.
Daddy put Juru in the sun.
Oh. Oh, my God.
But yeah, do you have anything else on these two?
No, I did like it. I see your point about it being boring. I get it. I do. I did like it. I did like it. I agree, though, that the plot points were kind of like phoned in and it was silly, but just cinematically and everything. And the little details I liked.
Oh, it's so embarrassing to say that the flashy, you know, here this like bright color thing is like making me like, oh, that was okay. When I really just look at it like on the paper, I'm like,
well, yeah, like when you said that out loud earlier, I was like, that really does sound just kind of dumb out loud. But.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Tokusatsu. You gotta, you know, you give and you give a little bit, you know, here or there. Not every episode is gonna be great. Not every episode's gonna be fully written out because most of the main writers, like any show, are only gonna be looking at like, you know, your obviously like opening arcs, your ending arcs, some of the big twist arcs in the middle. And then they let other people come in and write stuff. Yeah. And they probably let, you know, some intern write this episode. And he's just like, I have this cool idea. What if they have an arrow? And then the king is the arrow.
And then the king is the arrow.
Like, kid, that doesn't make any sense.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So that was those episodes. I'm excited to talk about the next two.
Yes.
But we will get to that after this message, or if you're listening through our little Patreon chat on Discord, welcome, and thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for supporting. And if you guys want access to these episodes literally the second that we're recording it, or even once it's all compiled and finished, you can get that only on Patreon, where we have a little Tokusatsu girlfriend tier. Bloop.
Yes, please.
So, yeah, we'll be right back after these messages.
Yes.
All right, do you want to jump us back in, or should I?
Remember? You should.
Well, I did it last time.
I know, but I don't know. What should I say?
Just pretend as if nothing happened.
Well, what episode are we going into?
34.
Okay. Count me down.
No, just do it.
Okay, so we are going to pick up with episode 34, Blue and Yellow Passion.
Pew! I love that little freeze frame.
I was just going to say, the freeze frame at the beginning was so choice. Yeah. Like, oh, I loved it. It was so funny.
So what happened in this episode? What, obviously the title gives away that it's a blue and yellow episode.
It's a blue and yellow episode. Though it wasn't as heavy on them as I thought it would be.
No, it was a little letdown.
Yeah. But that's okay. So it starts out and Juru, Tame, and Shiguru are playing pool and billiards, excuse me. Yeah. And surprising no one, Tame and Shiguru are just really incredible at it. Like, even I was impressed, and I know it's just acting. And Juru's like, I want to be like you two cool guys. And he makes like a good shot. And that really did surprise everyone. Because when he was going up for it, I said to Squall, oh, this is me. Because I was like, there's no way Juru is going to sink this. And he did. He did a surprisingly great shot. And then he calls them cool guys, which really sticks with them. And then they have to run off to fight a monster. Are you hyper-focused on Ralphie?
Yes, because I'm afraid he's in here stealing something.
He's actively looking for something.
Did you see him run out of here so quick?
He is. I've been keeping an eye on him. He is actively looking for something to steal out of here.
He's a little klepto.
I know. Where did we go wrong? Anyway, so they run off to fight the monster. I kind of... it's Yodana.
It's just Yodana in that same car garage.
She's got that mask of that witch. that King O fought back in the day.
That one episode, yeah.
Yeah. She's like, look, I've got her mask and I am gonna fuck shit up because not King O, Uncle Ring Pop is like freaking out in their little watery basement. She's like, you should do something to relieve your stress. I'm gonna go mess with the Kiramagers with this mask. So she shows up. They're back in that parking garage that they just find themselves in from time to time.
You know, that's the only place that
they're probably going back to their cars. We've got employee parking, Kiramager parking.
I like to think that like Carrot HQ has like the world's best security except for the garage. And that's the only place that the Jotunheim can kind of get into. And they're just like, we'll get them when they have to come out to their cars.
They gotta come out here sometime.
Right? We're going to ambush them.
Which you'd think they'd have like living quarters or something. There'd be no reason to ever go back home.
Quick, hide behind the Mitsubishi.
So she's waiting for them in the parking garage. Yeah. And she's like, look what I've got, this mask. And it's going to do something really awful to you.
Well, she doesn't say that. She just shoots it out. And
well, I know. I was paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And she shoots it out at Tame, who had some smart ass thing to say to her. And of course, Shiguru, being everyone's knight in shining armor, jumps in front of his bestie and takes the hit for him. Mm-hmm. And that's when we find out, poison.
Well, the mask, remember she did poison back in the episode, but it's powered up somehow now.
Because that's what she does. That's like Yodana's power.
She must have whipped the mask.
She powered it up.
Something with the tongue, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, she puts it on and she like has like, you know, like when they
like Leatherface or something.
I was thinking like, you know, like when they have like those like paintings where like you can see the eyes through. Yeah. And then in the Goonies, he's got like the mouth and he's just like, give me a kiss, Mikey.
Yes. Oh my God. That exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's a powered up poison mask. And now Shiguru is poisoned, and that's not good for anyone. And I don't know.
This is the 2200th episode of Super Sentai.
Well, hey, they didn't even tell us. They didn't even sneak that into the episode anywhere. At some point, they have to go and the team splits up and they have to go and
I'm sorry, I'm reading the Wikipedia notes to see if there's anything like cool that we could talk about in this. And it says the drawing of the Jotunheim leader is Emperor Yodon. No fucking shit.
Well, yeah, thanks for that one, Wikipedia.
Oh, stupid. Continue.
Well, they have to split up and fight with robots. I guess that's how Uncle Ring Pop is going to get his revenge. I don't know.
Well, yeah, he takes over Senna and Sayo in the whatever that little train guy one is.
Yeah.
That can like turn water stuff. He takes over that and is fighting them, and I don't know, nothing really goes on with that, you know.
Nothing really does. And
it's all about Shiguru, who's poisoned, who's still trying to put up a fight.
He's gonna die, by the way.
Right.
I mean, obviously poisoned, but she's like tilting her head. He's poisoned, and he's gonna die.
You really don't like Yodana, do you?
I really don't.
Oh,
She's trying to take out the best actor of our generation. No, I don't like her.
Well, she didn't know he was gonna jump in front. She did. She said it. No, she didn't know it was him. She just knew somebody would.
She said blue. She said, yeah.
Whatever.
She said blue. She knew. She knew that one of his friends. And then she yells at Tame and she's like, oh, you said your friends are so helpful. They're going to help you. And then it does like a montage of all the times that Tame has stepped to her talking about how great his friends are. Mm-hmm. Which I really enjoyed that. All the times he's given her shit because he's got good friends. Mm-hmm. And she's like,
I'm going to use that against you.
Of course. I'm going to use that against you, which is actually pretty clever on her part.
I feel embarrassed that it took me until like maybe like 10 minutes into the episode to realize how they were going to stop him by using a billiard shot. I mean, it's so formulaic. Sentai, it shows you the really random thing in the beginning. And then it's like, that's the thing that's going to save the day. oh, what the heck? You put sauerkraut on your hot dog? That's weird. And then it ends up saving the day at the end of the
Well, it's
episode.
funny because there literally was an episode where Mr. H takes a bite in the middle of the hot dog.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm referencing.
Oh my God. Well, you might be embarrassed by how long it took you, but I didn't realize it until
Until it happened.
So apparently there's like rules to this poison curse.
I wasn't really paying attention, if I'm going to be honest.
I looked away for 1 second.
Yeah, and then you're
when
lost.
I came back.
It seems like everything on these, like how these are written, is it's like nothing's really set up, and it's like a one-line throwaway that if you don't pay attention for one line, or it's not translated correctly, or it just doesn't click in your head, because sometimes, reading subtitles will do that. There's so much going on that maybe what they're saying doesn't fully click the first time you watch it. The whole episode is bunk.
Well,
and then you're like, what? Huh? What just happened?
Well, like literally, my mom texted me something completely useless. I regret looking at my phone. And then when I looked back up, they were like, what? Why didn't you tell us that?
They're all in hot dog suits.
Because she does, I wish, she does have the courtesy to tell them, this is how you get rid of the curse.
I thought you meant your mom.
Oh, no. No.
Just texting you Kiramager spoilers.
Oh, if only.
I got up to it on HBO Max.
I love this show. No, Yodana, after she curses Shiguru, she's like, but if you want to, get rid of this is how you'll do it. Which I'm like, come on. Who tells the person how they're going to get rid of it or how they can? Like, she could have had him. He could have been dead.
Well, I don't think she wanted him to die. I think she's just messing with him.
Okay. You're right about that.
Because she doesn't really do anything that actually, like, kills them. She just does something that might kill them. And she knows that they're going to pull through. And she's just kind of like, okay, let's see. I'm going to poison the sauerkraut. Who's going to eat it and how they're going to get out of this mess? Ralphie's back to steal something.
I know. He's looking. He's actively. He brushes up against my leg to be like, hey, Mom, I love you.
And then the hunt is on. But yeah, they use a little billiard trick shot to take everybody by surprise and break the mask, which is...
Because apparently that was one of the rules, was that Shiguru... That's what I gathered anyway. That's the missing line, but that's what I gathered is Shiguru had to be the one to hit and destroy the mask. And so that was their grand scheme, was they did a ricochet. Juru's magic shot or something they called it. And it was actually cool to see. Like, Tame shoot and then Shiguru do the shield and ping.
I don't know. I'm just disappointed because, like, we looked at the next time on and it was a promise of a yellow and a blue episode. And, like, the two boys on the team that aren't the leader or the sixth ranger... When they have their pair up episode, those can be really fun. Like I hate going back to Shinkanger, but that blue and green episode, Chiaki, where they get
so good,
the hands tied and they have to learn how to work together.
So good.
It's they do that a bunch. They do stuff like that, but like most of those are really good, and this one just kind of felt like I could have been more fun.
Thank you. That's exactly. I can't. Really
I enjoyed it, but there should have been more. Like it should have been like. I don't know. I think having them both be like super cool guys together. I don't know. I don't really know what the answer is, and I'm you're probably annoyed of hearing like I would do it this way, And I don't want to be like that type of person, but I just feel like there is something missing here. Like the most fun that usually you have in a Sentai series is when you pair up two of the characters in an episode, and I feel like all of the ones in this series have not really hit the mark the way that they could have or should have. And I was really hoping for this one to be cool. We still have the girl episodes.
Yes.
Where we have pink and green team up. Hopefully we get one of those this season.
Hopefully, we'll
COVID
see.
may have thrown a wrench at that, but that's our last hope. We got to have a good girl power episode because some of those can be really fun and good.
Yeah. I'm hoping so. It's just that each of these characters is so dynamic in their own way. Like they are larger than life on their own. And so when you get, paired up episodes or where the characters are paired up together, you expect so much. Right. And I don't know, this one, I was a little let down, to be honest. There's so much they could have done with it. I feel like you were saying, and it just kind of was like a womp womp.
Yeah. I don't know what the answer is, and I'm probably too tired to think about one right now.
That's fine. But I still liked it overall. I still liked it. Don't get me wrong. Anything with Shiguru,
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for it. I just wanted more.
Any last thoughts on this episode?
Not really.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot here. So let's move on to episode 35, which, again, I'm on the Wikipedia looking at this, and they have a big warning at the top that says, this alcohol contains scenes of alcohol drinking.
This alcohol?
No, it does not. She drinks tea.
She drinks
It's
tea.
not alcohol.
It's not.
She gets drunk, but it's not alcohol drinking, so...
And I will say,
Get your shit together, PowerRangers.fandom.com. I'm calling you out.
I did not have drunk Mabusheena on my
On your bingo card?
Kiramager bingo card.
It's kind of like The Hangover.
You're right. Once again, we're getting another like kind of callback, like to a movie. This one was The Hangover, and you are absolutely right. Mabusheena gets drunk. Not intentionally.
Rolls around in some fecal matter.
I mean, I knew it was mud, but when you open up and there's no explanation and she's got what appears to be
Can only be one of three things: mud, chocolate, or poo.
Yeah.
Take your pick.
And all three beg a lot of questions,
Yeah.
to be honest. And Mr. H is clearly sassy, which I'm like, once we found out, I'm like, okay, come on. You kind of walked into that one in a way.
Mm-hmm.
In a way. Don't be mad at her. It's not like she went out and purposely got shit-faced. Like, apparently, the stones on Crystalia can't have Japanese tea?
Well, no, it's similar to their alcohol where they're from. For some reason, tea makes stone people go nuts. I don't know. Did you notice Mr. H's jersey this episode?
No, not really.
The New Jersey Devils.
Oh.
NHL. We're the Devils.
We're the Devils. Nobody messes with the Devils.
Yeah, Seinfeld joke.
Oh, you don't even like Seinfeld.
Yeah, but
Thank you, Seinfeld boyfriend.
I do not want that to happen.
It's okay.
God, no.
I know. It won't.
This episode, again, I feel like on paper was a really cool episode, but the thing that I ended up liking the most was our three other heroes. So we got Senna, Shiguru, and Juru fighting the Golf Marsk beast.
Yeah.
I thought that was the funniest shit I've seen in a while. And like just kind of like the fun that they're having with some of these characters too. Like Senna gets like this idea of, because basically Mabusheena wakes up and everything's destroyed. Her brother's missing, and they have to go track him down, and they don't know where he is. He's not communicating with, like, they just don't know where he is. Drill Daijin is gone. And so they find his notebook, and Senna immediately like takes off because she's like, of course running, but they like emphasize, pew!
She's gone.
And they keep doing that in that episode. And I was like, this is funny. I really like this. They should have done this earlier and kept this going, because that, I don't know, that's really funny.
It is. No, I completely agree with you.
Like, I feel like all of those characters could have something like that, like where Senna's constantly like, pew! Or like, like in Scott Pilgrim, where like a character will, like Scott will just be gone. Like the camera will be like, a medium shot, and then it cuts to like a master shot, and it's just a sound effect, and he's not in frame anymore. And it makes you think, oh, he ran away really quick. That's what they could do with Senna, and like Shiguru, like he could like have things that happen, and the camera maybe just like zooms in on him, and he does like a weird facial like acting face or something. Like there's something you could do for all the characters. But I don't know, I really liked their little side story with that. I didn't really care a whole lot about Mabusheena, which I did like drunk Mabusheena. I thought that was very funny. That was
really funny. But again, it just, the episode, which I would never thought that I would say this ever
about a drunk Mabusheena episode.
Yeah, but it just kind of fell a little short. It was a little bland. I don't know. I found myself losing interest. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I just wasn't in the right mindset. Maybe I didn't
Maybe you needed a drink or two of tea.
Well, maybe I did.
Well, I don't want you to destroy my console again.
Oh, sorry about
my table.
that.
I don't know how to. I love how they have to track the beasts by the news.
Yeah, no, and now he was so mad. Now there's a big old beast attacking the city, and we didn't even know about it until we turned on the news.
I mean, motherfucker, you can go on Twitter and like look at the hashtags "a giant monster."
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, that's how the news does it. Come on, buddy.
Well,
it's not so bad.
No.
What's 3 minutes gonna do to the people that are being killed in these buildings like every other week?
No biggie.
Come on.
I don't know. This episode, I did think it was funny to a certain extent. finding out all the things that drunk Mabusheena did, like when once she sobered up. I mean, that is pretty accurate, you know, like people being like, oh my God, you don't remember you did this? And you're like, oh my God, I'm mortified. I can't believe I did that. Some of you will be able to relate.
Some, yeah.
Some of you will be able to relate. I know I did. I don't know. And so it was kind of funny.
I feel like most adults who've tinkered with alcohol
or tea,
have definitely had a blackout spell.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny. You know, this is a show for kids. And I think they did tackling something that adults relate to in a kid-friendly way. And I think they pulled that off pretty well, to be honest.
And I like that it wasn't actually alcohol. So like all the kids, because obviously if I was a kid watching this, I'd be like, oh, I want to go drink tea and go crazy too. Ooh. You know, they're not going to go and drink sake.
Right.
Which is what I was actually worried about when he said that you were drunk. And I was like, oh no, are they going to actually like have her drinking? But no, it's just tea. And I'm like,
yeah.
That's really smart. Like,
it is really smart.
One of my friends, The Pan, he posted on Twitter a couple days ago of like someone who did like a video of them doing like a lot of Kamen Rider Wizards moves, which are very flowy, and he's got like a cape and he like uses like slaps and hits instead of punches because the gimmick that year was a ring and they didn't want kids punching each other with the fucking ring.
Oh.
And it's like, oh, they really think about this stuff. Like Kamen Rider Wizard also had a main character where he's constantly eating donuts. And then they saw a lot of kids eating donuts. So they're like, oh shit, the next season, it's all about fruit.
Oh, a Gaim came after.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I'm learning.
So,
I'm actively learning.
I like that that Toei, whoever, you know, is in charge of these things, really are thinking some of those things out for the most part to try to, you know, curb that before it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, this episode, like, I really liked the idea of it, but I was really underwhelmed.
Nothing really happened. Takamichi got sucked up into
I don't care about Takamichi. If I'm going to be really honest, are we being too negative here?
I think we might be. We need to tone it down. No,
because I think the last few episodes have set our expectations so high.
Yeah.
That these two, it's really hard to follow it.
I think it's a tough act to follow.
Yeah, but I think our next episode that we're going to be watching.
Oh my God.
Episode 46, we don't really know anything about. We just watched the next time on MC rap battles.
Yeah.
And Yodana's got like a rap outfit and Juru's going to battle her and rap and
Nick Cannon's wilding out.
I am so there for this. I don't really care for rap, but I want to watch this. You know
I want to see everything about this episode. I don't know. Maybe they were letting us sleep on these past two episodes to give us one that really like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, with this episode, we are 10 episodes left.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe it.
On Kiramager. And I don't know. I think like, you know, maybe just because they have to cram so much in, they're trying to give us both a filler episode and an episode that has, you know, like a little bit of an arc or character development in it. And we haven't really gotten a whole lot from Mabusheena. So that's why they're like, well, the Mabusheena drunk thing was probably going to be an episode. And then maybe like the Takamichi in a monster might have been another episode. And then the golf monster might have been another episode. And they might, you know, have like placed, you know, one or the other with one another. But then because of COVID, they probably just all into one episode.
All in one.
Because I feel like...
a hole in one.
Oh my God. I feel like... I don't know. Like I feel like this episode had like ADHD almost.
Yeah, it bounced around so much.
It
and
was
not just
so
because
quick.
she was drunk or anything, but it moved so quickly.
Yeah, like when like they were shooting in the quarry at the golf monster and like everybody's talking over one another.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what was with that scene, but I was just like, oh, this is going way too fast.
And that might be why I was so put off by this episode. Maybe it wasn't that I was bored. It was just things were moving so quickly that it just didn't really seem to make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It just was moving so fast. It felt like it wasn't even trying to connect the dots. It was just trying to push you through and get you through.
And I mean, that'll do it, you know. I like it when they take their time, but obviously we've had a bunch of two-parters, and I don't even think like the last two-parter we really needed to be a two-parter. But
no, not really.
Damn, son, you know, let some of those babies die. You don't need to have everything in the episode.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
I feel like if it was just the drunk Mabusheena, that would have been kind of fun.
Yeah, there was just so much that they tried to throw at you in one.
like, I don't know. I feel like if the key to winning had to be with her remembering everything that happened and she had to piece all of the stories together, or everybody had a different version of the story, a la like Rashomon.
Yeah.
Or, what was that Star Wars middle movie of the new ones that came out? The Last Jedi, where, everybody's got their own stories and it's up to you to kind of piece them together and make your own narrative. And that's what she has to do to figure out the key to victory.
That would have been
kind of cool.
Yeah, that would have been. I agree with that. I do like that they gave her an attack. I
was really hoping she was going to drill him in the hole. She had the drill. She knew about the hole.
There.
And then she just does the clamp claw thing to make a golf ball. And I was like, oh. But then they made up for it by doing the whole, the eagle.
Yeah.
Nice eagle.
Nice eagle. And then he blows up. Yeah, that was a shining moment.
That was a very, very good moment. But anything else on this episode?
Not really. I'm just excited to get to the next one and see the rap battle. Who are you rooting for?
I mean, I don't really know. It's just Juru versus Yodana, it looks like.
I have no idea.
There look like a couple other MCs in there too.
Yeah.
So we'll find out. But
I'm rooting for Shiguru.
Do you think he'll do anything? I didn't see him in the episode.
He better.
This might be his sit-out episode because everybody's kind of had a sit-out episode. I feel bad for Takamichi's actor because he has had like jack shit to do in so many of these episodes. And like this episode, she was even like, where's the fourth Granner Stone? Why is it taking so long?
Oh, yeah, she was on his butt about that.
And that was one of the things that they were looking for, which that was fun.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention the ice cream seller.
Oh.
Maji Ranger Yellow, Go Buster Gold.
I know you said you're like, this guy always sneaks his way into
He snakes his way in is what I said. Now he's actually the name escapes me right now, but he's a producer now for Toei and Sentai.
Oh, okay.
And he loves Sentai, so he's always like working with it. He even shows up in the Kiramager stage show.
So he does like cameos. So he's like the Alfred Hitchcock of
yeah,
Sentai.
You could say that. Like he was in Ninja. He just appears all the time. You can't get rid of him. But yeah, I think that's all that we have for these 2 episodes. Hey, I just want to do a quick shout out for all of our awesome Patreons who help support the show, who help support making this happen. So thank you to Kiara, Caleb, HPG, BHP, Steve Sakai, Jesse's Demented Designs, Takaharu Rald, John Blair, and Soundboard. Thank you guys so much for supporting us on Patreon. I know I put your names in the episodes, but I thought I'd do a little fun shout out.
Thank you.
Yeah. Because you guys, Lauren gets Starbucks every now and then.
Every now and then I'm allowed a treat.
I remember when you posted that, like when we did, what was it, like a stream or Patreon?
It was something.
I think it was a Tokusatsu Girlfriend stream, and you were just like, you have to use some of this to buy me a drink. And that post got like a bunch of likes. Like everybody was like, yeah, Lauren got her drink.
I got my treat. And they spelled my name wrong. But that's okay. Laura is pretty complicated.
Oh, man. But yeah, that's all that we got for this episode. So if you guys enjoyed this, please make sure that you subscribe on your favorite podcast apps. If you're listening to this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, give us a comment. Tell us what you liked about this episode, what your favorite part from these 4 were. And I want to invite you guys to join us for the next episode where we're going to be covering episodes 36, that MC Rap Battle, 37, 38, and 39. We only got like 3 episodes left.
I know. It's going to be over before we know it.
And then we get to do another live show.
I'm so excited.
I want to know what we're going to watch next.
I know, me too.
I'm trying to like keep that a little bit distant from my mind because I still want to like enjoy Kiramager because I really do like last arcs of these shows.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I have no idea how Kiramager ends, which is good too.
And this is going to be a tough act to follow for me because this Kiramager was my #1 choice. So.
Well, your choice, but there's, I think, some other shows out there that you might like a little bit more too. Like it doesn't have obviously your gemstone aesthetic, you know. It doesn't have a Shiguru in it maybe, but you might find somebody that you like, I think, in whatever we watch next.
Oh, I'm sure.
So anyway, that's all that we have. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.